and other so far unnamed benefits. Guardian Media understands that this forms part of the union's response to the Chief Personnel Officer's final offer, which proposed a 40% cash payment and 60% in non-cash benefits. The PSA is reportedly seeking the reverse arrangement, which is 60% cash and 40% non-cash support. Chief Personnel Officer Commander Dr. Darrell Dindal declined to discuss the details of the ongoing negotiations, but CNC3 News was informed by a reliable source that the union's proposal includes food cards and fuel vouchers. The move could raise questions about whether such benefits can truly be considered non-cash compensation, given that many card-based programs require funds to be loaded in advance. Both the PSA and CPO are expected to meet again soon as they seek a resolution to the $3.8 billion in arrears the state committed to when it agreed to give the union a 10% wage increase. In other news, Defense Minister Wayne Sturge is throwing his support behind the deployment of U.S. Navy SEAL personnel to Trinidad and Tobago, saying their presence will strengthen the country's efforts to combat transnational crime while enhancing national security. Responding to questions from CNC3 News, Sturge said the elite American military unit would assist local authorities in areas including border protection, drug interdiction, and internal security training. The minister also rejected concerns that the presence of foreign military personnel could compromise TNT's sovereignty. He argues that the deployment represents a partnership aimed at tackling common security threats facing both countries. And Housing Minister David Lee is expected to provide an update after the Housing Development Corporation cancelled its $3.4 billion Design Build Finance housing program. Lee confirmed that he is expected to meet with the HDC board following growing public and political scrutiny over the termination. He said a statement will be issued after the meeting. Less than a week ago, the HDC announced it was ending procurement proceedings for the project with immediate effect under Section 33 of the Public Procurement Act, saying the move was in the public's interest. The cancellation has sparked a political firestorm, with opposition leader Penelope Beckles calling for the dismissal of the HDC board and the government's housing ministers. Well, stay tuned for comprehensive coverage in our media news and major newscast at 7 p.m. on CNC3 and across all digital platforms.
Good Wednesday morning, Trinidad and Tobago, coming to you from St. Vincent Street, Port of Spain, on what's a wet Wednesday morning. I don't even want to open the blinds. Let me give you a little peep. I mean, the blinds, look at that, just nothing but moisture, very wet, and from what we understand, it's probably going to be that way throughout at least for a good portion of the day, followed by Sahara dust. So for those with respiratory issues, you know what you need to do. Always be mindful, always check in with Sogoni and ensure you know how to plan and to map your day ahead. Jason Williams signing on, another action-packed program, and we're going to treat with this front page this development I saw in the news last evening where the United Kingdom, they're flagging Trinidad and Tobago as it pertains to our gangs, and this apparently might keep the status quo as is. You know, as of now, we need to, you can imagine that, we need to get a visa to go to the United Kingdom, and it's not cheap, it's costly, and it's one entry, and if you have to do the multiple entry, it's a different kind of money we're talking about, and all this is kind of tagged back to claims of gangsters seeking asylum and just a sort of gymnastics, as it were, diplomatic gymnastics. I mean, it could be something deeper, we don't know, but we're going to treat with this particular issue this morning and some of the other, I would say, breaking news stories here at home. And of course, we touch on the back page with your World Cup recap. See you soon. Let's get the ball rolling on this wet Wednesday morning. It's your Brew. See you soon. Stepping in this Wednesday morning, let me put away the business here and let me wish you and yours a tremendous day. Despite the weather, we try to make things happen. Listen, we only need to deal with rain and hot sun in the Caribbean. You can imagine our brothers and sisters way north and who live further removed out there in Europe when it comes down to all that September, October, November, December, January, when they're in the middle of the winter and they have to negotiate snow and shoveling snow out of the garage, and we don't have to deal with that. And let me tell you, Trinbagonians, they go outside and have to treat with that kind of weather, that kind of climate. They shovel the snow, jump in the car and head to work, you know. You can't reach 1 minute late. Here, a little rain, you pull the cover, oh gosh, do darling, and you hug up. And you want to rock back and you say, they go see me tomorrow. No. We don't make them bad skylark at all outside. But here at home, I don't know. So we need to move up with the mindset and don't let a little rain dampen your day. You just move a little bit earlier and you prepare for the elements. Let's head to the front page on this Wednesday morning. I saw this on the news last evening and I continue to question as to why Trinidad and Tobago, our citizens, folks from this island, twin island state, we need to get a visa to go to the UK. Well, I'll hold a little pause. I feel I'll probably try to, I've not been to Europe in some lots of years, to be quite honest. But honestly, if I'm making a trip, I'll do like what most are doing at this point in time. They're taking that KLM, fly to Amsterdam and finding their way from Amsterdam to other parts of Europe. I find this to be so heartbreaking. Again, clearly there's probably way more layers to this. But I think for Trinidad and Tobago's contribution as it pertains to our energy sector, and major players from the UK are here doing business and enjoying the fruits. I just find it to be so disheartening. And I say this as a proud Trinbagonian, as someone who would have been to the UK. I would have had great times there. I have family there, good friends, great friends. And let me tell you, a time was hard. I would love to go back and visit one day, but I think I'll have to hold a strain and try to see how this one plays out, because based on what is being said and established and what it's via the news cycle, the UK, they're flagging Trinidad and Tobago and our gang network. Let's put this on the full page so you can see what's happening. Official reports suggest 186 criminal networks responsible for 1/3 of this country's murders. And analysts warn it could hurt asylum and visa chances for nationals. To treat with this, Zahir Ali, Director of Policy and Community Support under the Ministry of Homeland Security. Okay, so a matter of fact, I've just been reliably informed that we will have Zahir Ali joining us some other time. He's not available this morning. Instead, we will check in with, from what I understand, Gary Griffith, who obviously, based on his portfolio and his knowledge of the situation, could guide us in a particular direction. I want some clarity, because this baffles me. You know, this UK visa requirement, and it's not cheap. It's not a cheap visa, you know. It's not cheap. And for those who do their law studies, those who have business to conduct out there in Europe, those who have family and friends to visit, it's a rather expensive undertaking. It's always been expensive, even before the visa requirement. I mean, UK, we're talking here, the pounds, you know, no 2 cents, and no small spend to go across the pond. But with this visa requirement and with the fact that we have been flagged because of gangs, and I guess the reality is lots of folks who, the reality is people who have colorful past and a colorful resume would have gone across seeking asylum, and many are suggesting that is the reason we find ourselves in this monkey pants. But Gary will give some clarity, and we will do a deeper dive into that story later on this morning. As it pertains to the Tobago budget, inside the second hour, we're going to get a chance to check in with Dr. Vanus James on that Tobago budget, the allocation, at least the request, and what's the roadmap forward for that economic stability, economic growth, we would say, for the wheels to turn in a functional and meaningful way for our brothers and sisters in Tobago. So I look forward to that discussion with Dr. James later on, and also I would safely say inside this first hour. So that's after 7. So we're touching base with Gary Griffith, and then after Gary Griffith, Ishmael Pitt joins me, president of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service Social Welfare Association, to treat with promotions within the TTPS and challenges faced by officers. So it's an action-packed program. Later on, Dr. Catherine Minto-Bain, TTIVF, and then I head to Erin to wrap things up this morning. The Erin Beach facility down by the beach, they're having a big celebration. I was literally down there. What today is? Wednesday? I was there actually on Monday. I had a chance to check in with Auntie Annie. I took my mom on a nice drive. We went home. You know, just a nice little drive to touch the road, touch the ground, go back to the foundation. So good morning to all my brothers and sisters, and mostly family there in Erin. We're getting ready for St. Peter's Day observance down by the Erin Beach facility. For those who know, they know. Tongue Beach Road. That's right. Deep in the Southland. After the beach facility is water, and you see in Venezuela, you know, you call that area the Mang. About 45 minutes, 50 minutes per hour on a fast-moving pirogue on the South American mainland. You can imagine, we are that close to our brothers and sisters in South America. Well, Mbappe showed up to the party. Messi is having a time in the party. Haaland making a mark in the party. Ronaldo said, hey, what about me? And he decided to show up yesterday. 2 goals, a brace from CR7, much to the delight of the Portuguese fans, and all the Cristiano Ronaldo supporters. I mean, what is a World Cup without Cristiano? And he becomes the first man in history to score in 6 different World Cups. I think that was the record. Yeah. This man been scoring goals from 19 along, and he continues at the ripe age of 41 to just, I don't know, I mean, like him, don't like him, he's doing his thing, and he is resilient, and he's showing that, hey, age is just a number. Clearly he doesn't have the burst, I guess the speed, the sharpness of the young Christie, but clearly that football IQ, understanding space, understanding your position, and I guess playing within a system that I would imagine is built around him, he's able to shine. And, well, I mean, it's Uzbekistan. I mean, come on. I mean, yeah. Uzbekistan, when you get food to eat in a sporting contest, you eat your food. And I mean, no disrespect to Uzbekistan or anybody from that part of the world, but a golfing class, and it was more or less, you know, a golfing class, really, a foregone conclusion, and they were able to put 5 past. I guess the real test is when they come up against more formidable opposition, and if they could have that kind of click and that kind of cohesion, because the first game, Portugal's first game, was not impressive. Ronaldo got lots of licks, and the entire team, for such a creative outfit, for such a talented bunch of individuals, to not show up on the world stage. So they kind of was able to sort that out yesterday, get it out their system, and I think Portugal will go far. I'm not good at predictions, but you know, I'm looking at certain teams, and based on just the talent alone, that cast, they can go far in the tournament. Yesterday, England stalemate against Ghana, and Colombia got the win late last evening against who is Colombia play? Oh my goodness, Congo. Yes, DR Congo. Too many games. 1-0 for Colombia. Today you're going to get where the groups are going to wrap up, so you're going to get like 2 games at the same time. I'll give you the rundown and the recap, the schedule and timing later on. Let's head to the brief on this Wet Wednesday. What's via the papers? Let's go. Some little drummers. Yes, the Mayaro folk performers, HD members, are performing there for the Yoruba Village Drum Festival at the Yoruba Village Square, Piccadilly Street in Port of Spain. This happened last Saturday. And patient's simple act of kindness eases hospital chaos. A feel-good story. It's not all doom and gloom. We always try to put the feel-good stories in The Guardian to uplift and to really remind the nation that, listen, even though there's darkness, There's a lot of people with heart made out of stone. The vast majority of us are on the side of love, on the side of compassion, on the side of empathy. And I wish some of our leaders on both sides of the divide start to operate in that manner. We, the community, we, the people, continue to help each other out and be our brothers and sisters' keeper. Granted, it doesn't get a spotlight. Nobody shines a light on that kind of action. It happens sometimes very quiet. People do what they have to do. But that's the Trinidad and Tobago I know, and the Trinidad and Tobago I hope that continues to exist even after I'm gone and all of us here are gone. That's the momentum we want. So this feel-good story is one I applaud, and I thank the team, the editor, and all those who put this story together. I'm seeing it's a Sandra L. Blood story. And, you know, just a feel-good. Take a read. You'll smile this morning and be reminded that there is lots of light despite some of the darkness that's happening in the place. Up next, Gary Griffith steps in to discuss this scenario out of the UK and at least what seems to be a major development. I mean, obviously, if the UK knows this, I guess the local authorities must know this too, and the question is what we're going to do about it. So let's get into that discussion with Gary Griffith, who joins me next.
Magical Expressions Limited is the largest local importer and distributor of fresh cut stems, offering the widest range of beautiful flowers at the most affordable prices. Call us today at 701-6488 or visit our website to order.
Looking for the ultimate gaming experience? Welcome to Phase 22 Gaming Lounge, where gamers of all ages come to play, compete, and have fun. Dive into your favorite games on PlayStation, Nintendo, Xbox, or race on our high-tech racing rigs. And experience the thrill of VR with PlayStation and Meta Quest. Our lounge is safe, comfortable, and perfect for everyone. When you're done, check out the latest gaming systems, accessories, and even Samsung and Apple phones. Visit us on the second floor of Gulf City Mall or call 786-2404 to book your gaming session today.
Get a loan at Bremont. The process is simple. Fast and efficient approvals. Receive funds within 24 hours once approved. And no penalty for early repayment. Located at 4 Gallows Street, Woodbrook. Remember, we like to lend.
Visit Tire Clinic Marketing, New Truck and OTR Tire Service Center at number 30 and 32 Montrose Main Road, Chabonas. Call today at 665-8973 or 672-3419. Alignment services available. Tire Clinic Marketing, Truck and OTR Service Center. A tire for every need.
This is more than just music. This is where you find the best of TNT. This is more than just a vibe. This is where Bollywood gets a twist. This is more than just energy. This is Bhangra and indie pop too. This is the mix. This is the life. Lock on or log on now. Sangeet 106.1 FM. This is authentic East Indian radio. This is us.
Former Commissioner of Police Gary Griffith joins me on the Zoom line this morning to discuss this developing story here. It's here via our front page, and Gary's going to give some perspective. Gary, we're talking the United Kingdom, England this morning, and it's not football. You can imagine.
It's coming home.
Yeah, well, all right. I mean, well, based on yesterday's performance, Gary, we'll have to have a discussion off air about that. But nonetheless, this development, and of course, as always, thanks for coming on and joining us. This development is nothing new. We would have heard of this particular claim, and so much so the reality that many individuals with colorful resumes, people who would have been involved in, or at least allegedly involved in different activities here on the shores, would have or at least went to the UK, applied for asylum obviously saying that they're threatened and they're feeling unsafe in Trinidad. And based on that development, on this development here, apparently that visa requirement is going to stay intact. We're hearing that with the new Prime Minister coming in, there's not going to really be any particular change as it pertains to the immigration policy. So unfortunately, that money that's now going to be spent to get to the UK, whether it's single entry or multiple entry, would remain. Just to get your take on this. And if the UK knows this, clearly we must know this too, and what we're going to do about it if indeed we're hearing it's 186 criminal networks on the Twin Island state of Trinidad and Tobago, Gary.
Yeah, this is something that's been going on since about 2008, 2007 or so, with the problem with gang activity. And that is why it is that laws were actually put into place to anti-gang legislation. The laws that we have, however, are very soft in comparison to other anti-gang legislations, such as in North America, which is why it is virtually impossible for the police when people criticize the police, because the first thing people will say is, well, if you know all these gang members, why don't you arrest them? There's a difference between intelligence and evidence. It is easier for the police to incarcerate someone, have them charged for a criminal offense, than to charge them for gang-related activity, because the laws that we have here, it is so stringent to be able to pinpoint that person. So there's a lot of intelligence that the UK now, they also have 1,700 odd members, dozens of different gangs ranging at now. We are seeing that persons ranging between the age of 12 to 16 years old, they actually recruit them from prisons, from schools. And that is where the importance of the government introducing that Ministry of Justice to deal with the problem with recidivism and to prevent the recruiting of gangs in the prison, the importance of having proper type of policing systems now, that we have to go into intelligence-driven policing, predictive policing, such as undercover police officers, covert elements, if you want to call them sleeper cells or moles, getting into the gangs, infiltrate them. And the biggest problem that has taken place, JW, that has caused this, that year after year for the last few decades, have been governments are giving state contracts to criminal elements, and that has caused them to blossom, because the gang number one will have a state contract. He will now decide to take out gang number two to get their state contract, and that is what has caused the mess. I spoke about it when I was Minister of National Security. I exposed the live sports situation. Thankfully, the Prime Minister at the time, when it was brought to her attention, she shut it down. But this has been going on for years. The problems with the state giving contracts to these gangs, that is what has caused them to flourish and develop.
Yeah, and I wonder, does that particular, again, what you just explained, justify, or is there grounds for the UK now to put this particular requirement in place for all citizens? Because I'm not part of a gang, Gary, you're not part of a gang. Why is Peter paying for Paul in this particular scenario?
Yeah, going back again to since 2014, we were being red flagged by the United Kingdom for visas to be implemented. There were about 12 countries, I recall, in 2014, and Trinidad and Tobago was one. So since 2014, we were red flagged for visas to be issued. Again, the then government, we pleaded with them. I was the minister at the time, so that's what I knew. We pleaded with the UK, give us a chance. They said it is impossible. The things that you all have, it wouldn't work. We were given 9 months, and we put every single thing in place. That was to put in K9s in the door, at the airport, staff, proper systems to make sure that we could pinpoint individuals, have them red flag, briefly work closely with the UK officials. And strange enough, it was lifted. And so since 2014, the then government did what was required to prevent it from happening. And then that's where you're noticing with the United States, there's something similar with tier two watch lists and so forth. So we did everything that was required. Unfortunately, years after 2015, what was put in place that caused the United Kingdom to back off and not enforce that visa, it did not continue. And because of that, those things have caused now the UK to say, well, Peter has to pay for Paul. I personally think the same way it is that we were able to do it was 9 different critical elements that the UK demanded from us that I had to actually put in place on behalf of the government. The chair of the National Security Council, she had that as priority, not for us not to have that visa issued. And it was amazing, even the minister national security recently, Fitzgerald Hines, he said that wasn't true, and Faris Alwari is the one who had to remind them that it was, because the opposition, they were pointing fingers at the government at the time. But we did what was required. So I think it's still possible. It requires immense dialogue. We knew in advance, months before, years before this was going to happen. We did not do what was required, because it's not that the UK wants to do this. It's not to say that it was willy-nilly. This was based on massive intelligence. So it's not based on this report that's to say, well, it was a knee-jerk situation. Since 2014, the United Kingdom, they were interested to do this, but the government did what was required. If our government does not put all the measures in place, then we will be forced to endure what is happening now. So I think if it is that we explain to them, we ask what is required, they could very well be amended, but it's going to take a lot of work now to clean up the mess that has taken place, that has caused us now to have a visa issued because of the situation. I think primarily because of the problems with persons living here, looking to seek asylum in the United Kingdom, and also the persons who are related to involved in gangs. If it is our intelligence agencies can able to pinpoint it, we can find an avenue to be able to say, let Peter not pay for Paul. You know, the 1700, we can utilize this in a way without having to have persons spend thousands of dollars to be able to do the United Kingdom because of a situation of just 1700 gangs.
Gary, let me ask, based on your intelligence and your, at least information coming out of the UK, is there any data to prove that Trinbagonians would have gone there, got involved in crime and criminality? They have been able to, they've morphed into the criminal networks of London and Liverpool and these other places. What's the status of the Trinbagonians who go to the UK? Are we on the radar? Are we involved in crime and criminality on their mainland?
Yeah, definitely. That is why the visa was imposed, because there was started being an escalation of lots of Trinidad and Tobago citizens actually going across there, seeking asylum, looking to state, well, there's a threat to my life. And with all of these things, the United Kingdom said, look, we cannot handle this. And it is not just Trinidad and Tobago. I recall that the report I had, because I had to liaise constantly with the British government as minister to prevent that visa from being imposed in 2014, with the 9 different things that they demanded. And it was not just Trinidad and Tobago. Their concern is that Piarco Airport became a hub, a way to filter lots of persons from CARICOM to get to Gatwick. So lots of individuals were actually coming from different parts of the Caribbean, landing in Piarco and then utilizing Piarco, that system. So it was unfortunate for us. We would not be able to red flag persons outside of Trinidad and Tobago. But all of that we had to put in place, which is why the importance of that National Operations Center kicked in. That National Operations Center that was recommended by the Commission of Inquiry into the attempted coup, that was supposed to be used as a conduit to be able to filter information, not just from Trinidad and Tobago, but throughout CARICOM, to filter information, pinpoint persons who are red flagged, who are persons of interest, who may be affiliated to gangs, and utilize that to be able to pass on to our immigration and also to the British government. Unfortunately, the Minister of Homeland Security, he doesn't understand that. So he has turned the National Operations Center into a dispatch system for police alone. And that obviously means that the National Operations Center is not doing exactly what it should. That is supposed to be used for a number of different things, inclusive of dealing with situations of immigration.
Let me ask you really quick, Gary, just to pick your brain on the development out of Labor Day last Friday. You think the Alicia Phillip arrest with her mom was justified based on at least what you've seen so far and all that's been in the public domain?
Yeah, no, the Court of Public Opinion has condemned the police for it. But let me clarify: the police, the laws that we have give the police that authority. I know people will be shocked to hear this, because the laws we have in the first quarter of the 20th century are still there. We have laws known as loitering. If it is you argue with a police officer, if they say they want to charge you, they will charge you for resisting arrest, disturbance of the peace. A police officer fired a shot close to a lady. The man cursed, not the police, but he cursed because his wife was almost killed. He was charged for obscene language. So they are very pre-colonial laws that the police still use. And in this situation, that was one of them. So the police utilized that avenue and they pinpointed Ms. Phillip. But the point being is that these are the things where leadership in the police service must come in to understand how to read the room, how to understand the play. If it is that you stick to the letter of the law rather than the spirit of the law, you will walk into an ambush. And that is what has happened now. This in no way is going to assist in lifting public trust and confidence. And a perfect example is the Black Lives Matter. I had an exact situation. 500 persons went up opposite the U.S. Embassy, and we could have arrested all of them. Instead, I knew what the play was. Let them vent. Let them air their frustration. I walked with them, assured them that it wouldn't take place. That is what the police should have done by going into the situation high-handed in that manner, even though there are laws that give the police that authority, because the permission was granted specifically for a specific purpose, which was for a Labor Day walk and to deal with workers' rights. So they pinpointed her, and because of what she was protesting, they said that didn't go in line with what the approval was, even though the union workers said they invited her. So they played it on a technicality, but that is where it is. Police must be able to understand that aspect, to understand the difference between the letter of the law and the spirit of the law. You stick to the letter of the law, all it is going to do is to say, right, we are the police, we have the right to do that. But that's where public trust and confidence is now 5%, when just a few years ago, these same police officers, public trust and confidence was almost 60%.
Thanks for that, Gary. And I'm going to take you now back to your soldier days. Let's strap on the soldier boots. U.S. soldiers on the ground training, I mean, that's nothing new. I'm trying to figure out what's the big hullabaloo about these Navy SEALs being here. Is that a cause for concern? I know there are people asking questions, raising a red flag. But based on what you would have told me, and just based on general information in the public domain, the U.S., they've been coming here for years to conduct training exercises all the time. What makes this particular training so different compared to the other times?
Yeah, well, I've been a soldier before I was a police officer. That's why you see in there as a captain badge around there. I remember I was a police officer and a soldier.
Yeah.
So yes, this has been going on for decades. The United States have been involved in what is known as Operation Tradewinds, Operation CNC3, Caribbean Islands Nation Security Conference. Then there's Operation. So there have been a number of different operations with Tradewinds and so forth, where the United States continue and have continued to be our number one ally to provide assets, equipment, technology, and so forth. Again, going back to 2014, the U.S. actually offered us 2 destroyers at no cost. That is how supportive they were. They provided me with the technology that assisted us to put an end to kidnapping. When there were 12 consecutive kidnappings, that we were able to pinpoint the kidnappers, kick down the doors, arrest them, and rescue the victims. So they provided all the technology we require, the training, the assets. In this situation, I think there's a misinterpretation with the Navy SEALs. The Navy SEALs, they are an elite unit that are there and designed specifically for special tasks, which is counter-revolutionary warfare, dealing with specific insurgents, doing an extraction, dealing with a counter-terrorism operation. They are not here, and they are not and have never been that they are assigned to go to another country to reduce crime. That is not what the Prime Minister said. What she said is that the SEALs are going to come here to assist in fighting crime. I actually heard a minister foolishly, because he speaks, one Alexander speaks more about security than another Alexander, even though that Alexander is not Minister of Homeland Security. And he gave the impression that the SEALs are going to turn up here like Rambo and go onto all the hills and take out the gangs. That cannot happen. There's something called SOFA, the Status of Forces Agreement, that has legislative mandatory requirements that allow and force a country cannot just go into another country to deal with law enforcement. They do not have the authority. It's against the Constitution of Trinidad and Tobago. So the SEALs are coming here not in any way to act as an interagency task force, as to deal with joint operations. They would not and do not have the capacity, the legality to do that. They will be involved in training. They will be involved in providing technology. They will be involved in showing systems for intelligence gathering, especially with our elite units such as the Special Forces of the Army of the Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force and the Special Naval Unit of the Coast Guard. That can play a very big part to assist us in dealing with gang activity, because our elite units, I think they are very underutilized and they can be used in a much greater manner to reduce crime.
Gary, all the best as always. Thanks for touching base. Next time we will get some football commentary and some analysis in the discussion. But all the best, and we'll touch base soon.
Take care. Bye.
All right, Gary Griffith there, giving us some perspective on some of the leading stories as it pertains to law enforcement and the agency's task to keep us safe. We want to head across to the TTPS, and a very important discussion is ahead because with me, the president of the Social Welfare Association, we're going to treat with TTPS promotions and some of the challenges and solutions to treat with some of these challenges.
We are your one-stop, most convenient, most helpful, most caring community pharmacy. Our pharmaceutical services include dispensing medicines, repeat dispensing, clinical governance. But we also have a fully stocked convenience store featuring our refreshment aisle, grocery lane, personal care products, toys, pet supplies. We are most conveniently located out of the traffic, just 2 minutes off the highway in Heartland Plaza, Endeavor, Chaguanas. Contact us on 220-8705 or 470-5938 and visit us soon.
Period nights don't have to look like this. Move less, wake up to change. So change for a real night's sleep with Always Overnight. Its 3 times protection system absorbs, locks the fluid, and keeps it away from your skin. For protected nights without leaks. Always.
The detergent smells nice while washing, but when you use the new Downy Intense fabric softener, with its new multi-capsule fragrance, it releases an intense scent that lasts twice as long. With the new Downy Intense, you'll enjoy a rich and delightful fragrance that keeps you feeling fresh 24/7.
Heart disease is the #1 cause of death in Trinidad and Tobago, driven by 2 silent threats, diabetes and high cholesterol. But now there's a powerful ally, introducing Berberine Plus by Asia Nutrition, clinically proven to stabilize blood sugar and keep cholesterol levels in check. With 99.9% pure extract, you get superior absorption and real results. Available now at Pennywise and leading pharmacies nationwide. Berberine Plus. Your heart deserves better.
Get the story first. Want to know what's happening in news, sports, or crime? Get the CNC3 app. As the story breaks, CNC3 is there giving you the story first on your mobile device. Be connected to the most trusted and reliable news source, CNC3. Access your world with just a tap. The CNC3 app. Download it today.
Is reliable, credible, and authentic. Thank you for trusting me to bring you the news. It's a privilege to be in your homes and hearts. With every story and every newscast, CNC3 is keeping you informed and inspired. When it comes to news, we are where you are.
Attention all listeners, are you ready for the ultimate news experience? Introducing the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian, the nation's first and most subscribed newspaper. We deliver where others can't. With the widest delivery network in TNT, you can have the Guardian delivered right to your doorstep or office every single day. Take advantage of our special annual subscription offer so you can stay on top of the leading stories even when you're on the go. Sign up today. Time is running out. Inquire about our 3-month and 6-month packages as well.
A very important discussion I had up to, I would say, last week or week before, Officer Russell was here with me, and we spoke to a very important topic, which is the welfare, the mental health really of our officers. Yes, there's lots of different discussions within the public domain as it pertains to the TTPS, but we want to treat with that human element, the fact that they are brothers and sisters from the community who are working. They've come from an election into Carnival, into a SOE, into Christmas, into Easter weekend. It's pace. And everyone in their particular job, just think for a moment, we sometimes feel burnt out, and you need to take that rest and reflection. So I want to get some details regarding what's in store, at least what's the conversation like as it pertains to the officers' welfare. So to treat with that, Acting Sergeant Charles, yes? is on set with me. That's right. So she's here in person. And on the Zoom line, the president of the Social Welfare Association, Officer Pitt. Officer Pitt, good to see you.
Blessed morning, JW, blessed morning, Trinidad and Tobago, and blessed morning to my colleague, Ms. Trisha Duran-Charles, Assistant Secretary.
Yes, she is indeed the Assistant Secretary. I want to start probably in that regard. I'll come to you in a few, President, because I know we're going to deal with promotions, a very important talking point. But let's start with the welfare of the officers, the burnout. Are you getting this particular... Is this the clarion call from officers? What are they telling you when you speak with them? I mean, obviously based on your position, your office.
Good morning, Jason. Again, good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. So when we think about policing, I think it's an easy job to do because we have all the answers on how we should effectively police. But I don't understand that it's a mental and physical strain on your body. And what has been happening over the years, because officers have been called out to go above and beyond their call of duty, you're getting that level of burnout with officers. Now, the commissioner has started to put mechanism in place to deal with some of the issues that officers are facing. But as fast as you're giving an officer leave or you're giving time to really catch himself, we have other functions that have to take place where the work continues. So how do you get that balance? And that's the challenge that we are faced with.
You know, President Pitt, I want you to chime in here because at any given time, are you ever truly at full strength when it comes to the TTPS?
And the straight answer to that, JW, is no. There are officers who would proceed on leave, as the Assistant Secretary just mentioned. There are officers who, at this point in time, they are on suspension due to matters before the court. So we are never really up to full strength. And the public may look at the present numbers, as it were, without applying what we may call some qualitative analysis. So just look at the numbers and not understanding that the numbers in themselves don't reflect the actual strength on the ground at any given point in time.
And what about the special units that are tasked to treat with certain crimes, like, okay, the anti-kidnapping squad, the cyber squad? You're basically taking the pool, you're taking from the pool of talent and just putting them into these new units. What happens to the people who, let's say, take a man from Mover Station and put him in cyber? What's happening to his particular post?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a brilliant question, GW. Excellent. If NASA is aware that you are here, they will come and bring you to put rockets in space. The reality is we are using the same resource pool in order to facilitate advancements in the organization. So that when you have an introduction of a new unit, you are taken from what we may call the traditional on-the-ground policing staff in order to man these units. And in recent times, we have observed that the police officer is now being called upon to have additional functions. There are police officers in the schools. There are police officers at the airports, a function that would have normally been addressed by the airport security staff. There are even police officers within the prison domain. There are police officers in Chagaramas treating with issues, again, related to prisoners who have a special attention. So with all that, you can well imagine that our organization will be facing a deficit in terms of treating with the new units, and also having to treat with the traditional aspects of policing and our resident areas within the divisions, within the station districts, as the case may be.
So, Officer Charles, how do we get to some kind of resolution? We're having the open, frank, honest discussion, but what's been done through your office, through the office of the president to treat with this? Who could bring some remedy to this unfortunate situation?
We've already started, as a responsible association, we entertain officers and their concerns, their issues, and we render that level of assistance that they may need. There are officers that require counseling, and supervisors would observe their pattern of behavior, and they can make recommendation. But counseling is something that's voluntary. in the realm of the Commissioner's office, I know that he has extended a level of recognition to officers who perform above and beyond their call of duty. And I know coming this Friday, he will have a function for officers who have not extended their sick leave, you know, just to show that level of appreciation to officers. So it has started incrementally. We will get where we need to be eventually, but right now, you know, these small steps is what makes the difference.
You know, it says something that piqued my interest, the Officer Charles, and I guess President Pitt, you could chime in also, because yes, voluntary, someone will go on there it's intentional, they'll go on their own, they'll take themselves, I would imagine, to the counseling. But if you're observing that your colleague is really going down, and I say this based on my own childhood history, growing up next to Komoto Police Station. Mommy was the postmistress. I would go there every day, play table tennis, eat the wild meat with the officers. I remember the officers by name. And there were a few of them, even as a child, I could observe that alcoholism was part of their daily routine. You would smell it, you would see it, they would talk in a slurred manner. And I know it's something that still exists, unfortunately, within the service. If we're seeing one of your colleagues going down that road and that's their coping mechanism, is there a way that, can someone intervene? Is there a space for intervention as opposed to this voluntary kind of action?
Madam Assistant Secretary, I will give way.
Most definitely. You know, this is the responsibility of the Welfare Association. You know, our main focus is the welfare of the officer. So we can intervene, as well as if the officer is attached to a particular unit or division, their supervisor can intervene. So, you know, we offer that holistic level of support for an officer.
Excellent. Excellent. Let me ask, and we come back to the welfare in a few. I just want to get it from you, Officer Pitt, the promotion metric, as it were. You come in as I guess a constable, and then walk me through the ranks, the highest rank before, I guess you could get to, I guess, the top of the hill, which is obviously commissioner.
Okay, good. You enter the organization as a constable, and you can elevate now between corporal and assistant commissioner of police naturally within the regular framework. Anything beyond that, deputy commissioner of police and commissioner of police, there's a separate application, and the process now involves parliament and other mechanisms. And the ranks between constable to assistant commissioner is that of corporal, sergeant, inspector, assistant superintendent of police, superintendent of police, senior superintendent of police, and then assistant commissioner of police. Now, I'm glad that you raised this issue, because we are speaking about the sanction strength of the organization not being adequate considering the demands for policing at this point in time. The government has authorized at this point in time an increase to the sanction strength, which is good, which is a step in the right direction from an association perspective. And considering the burnout that my colleague has just mentioned, this is a clear initiative that is going to place the officers within a position where we have sufficient persons to share the workload, so to speak.
Really fast, I just want to find out quick, and I want you to continue that point, but is it that when you go up the ranks, the workload becomes more? Is it more, the higher the rank, the greater the responsibility?
Definitely. As in any other organization, the higher you go, the greater the responsibility becomes. Regarding the increase in the strength, it means now that every rank also has a sanctioned increase. In order for that to move, in order for the police service now to beef up and to get the additional manpower that has been authorized, it means to say that promotion must take place. At this point in time, we have several matters engaging the attention of the court. And for that reason, promotion in the organization is stagnated. Now, we are not saying that the judiciary is responsible for the promotion woes that has befallen us over the years. There are things that have occurred, and officers have quite rightfully sought relief at the courts. What we are saying, though, is at this point in time, in order to assist us, in order to bring us to that point where we can remedy the situation, in order that the commissioner can address his staff from the perspective of promotions, these matters must be determined. In the absence of that, we remain with issues of persons waiting to be promoted to corporal, to sergeant, all the way up. And there's another issue where between the rank of inspector to assistant superintendent, the age difference, which is 55 to 60, there are persons who are aging out. If you don't cross that threshold at the age of 55, you will leave the organization. So when persons would have had an expectation of having the opportunity to go through that process, the fact that it's at this point in time, the opportunity is lost. And with that loss now, the organization also suffers because you are losing persons who have experience, they have knowledge, they have skill, they have ability. Who suffers in the long run? Not just the TTPS, the public at large, because we would want to have the best persons in supervisory and managerial positions. At this point in time, that cannot be achieved because we have a lot of persons who are acting in positions,
right? And I'm not going to
based on seniority.
And I'm going to ask, in terms of that acting that's in front of people's title, what needs to happen for that acting to become for the person to be verified, for it to be cemented, and you're not acting anymore? And does this acting role also give you the compensation? Are you getting the compensation of the official role and function?
Yes, within you will reach up to the lowest tier in terms of the salary point regarding your acting allowance and your salary point. In addition, we must state that the government again has authorized that persons who have acted continuously for a period no less than 1 year, but not beyond 3 years, they are now eligible to be compensated as though they were within the rank once they would have naturally left the organization within that period. So there's gratuity, and their pension pack will be consistent with the rank that they were acting within. However, it still leaves us with the issue of a promotion not being able to take place when it's a merit-based sort of approach. Promotion is based on merit. That has been the authorization based on law since Act 7 of 2006. It is no longer based on seniority. So it's not because someone has been in the organization 1,000 years that they are more qualified to fill the role over someone who may have been in the organization 10 years.
So it's merit.
So it's based on merit. And in the absence of the promotion process taking place, that merit does not apply.
Sergeant Charles, how is what President Pitt just explained playing out on the psyche of the officers?
I can say that most officers feel demotivated because sometimes you tend to lose your acting, you know, and having to experience that where you were once in a position of authority in terms of supervisory position, and now you are back to a constable, then it causes that rift between, you know, the supervisor that is there now and you performing your role and function. So it causes that challenge, but I do agree with the President, you know, something has to be done, and something has to be done very quickly to deal with this situation.
And that's why I would imagine you mentioned Judiciary President Pitt. I could only imagine the amount of cases probably before the court based on promotion.
Yes, and they are affecting every rank. So it doesn't mean to say that every promotion into every rank is presently before the court. But considering the critical ranks and the fact that if there's no movement at the top, there will be no movement at the bottom, it has an impact throughout the service. It's a general impact.
Just as we look to wrap things up, the general mood right now within the TTPS. I know you all are getting lots of licks in the public domain via media. What are some of the high-level discussions like to at least remedy this current storm?
Well, that's a difficult question from the perspective of we have come under significant scrutiny for different reasons. And each reason may have a merit of its own. Notwithstanding, there has been a series of events that may have some linkages. The objective of the organization is to continuously transform into a modern policing organization and also have that improvement of its image. I know for a fact that the commissioner's priority at this point in time is to achieve just that. And with and I'm glad that you mentioned the media and the levels of scrutiny that may not always be, from our perspective, fair. That has become increasingly challenging in terms of creating that level of imagery and that level of partnership that would see us in a better position as a crime-fighting organization and getting the buy-in and the input of the public. Indeed. So to answer your question directly, yes, discussions continue to take place, initiatives continue to be introduced, the commissioner has his objectives, his executive has their objectives. Trying to accomplish all this, though, with an organization that at this point in time is running 24/7 without any kind of rest, without any kind of period to reflect and strike that work-life balance, is in itself a Herculean task, something that may be very difficult to achieve, if at all.
Well, I'm happy that, again, we're able to always have these open, honest, frank discussions, and you're able to explain and put that out in the public domain, so there is that deeper understanding. And of course, when we touch base again, we will expand some more. I want to thank you so much, President Pitt, for coming on, Sergeant Charles.
Thank you.
Great discussion, and keep me in the loop. If there's any new development, feel free to share with myself and the wider public.
Appreciate it. Do have a wonderful day, my brother. Be safe, Trinidad and Tobago.
Same to you.
Thank you.
Officer, yes, great to have you. We're going to take that pause. Get ready for the 7 a.m. news update. We come back with your calls after 7.
Gaming Express Limited is a premium importer and retailer of the highest quality brand name electronics. We stock the widest range of PlayStation, Nintendo Switch, Samsung, and Apple devices and accessories. Visit us at Shop 52, Level 2, Gulf City Mall in San Fernando, or contact us by phone or WhatsApp message at 687-7480 or 301-9797 or 798-1280. Like our Facebook and Instagram pages for updates on products and services.
Things don't always go as expected. Be ready with Trinry for auto, home, business and group life. Call us at 800-TRIN or visit trinry.com today. Huge insurance premium. Pay your premiums bit by bit with FlexiPay from Trinry. For more manageable auto, home and commercial insurance payments, call us at 800-TRIN or visit trinry.com today. Trinry. Premier insurance coverage for less.
Okay, let me see you, Cherry Hill. Yeah, now take it back. Let me see you rock off, shake off. Let me see you rock off. Let me see you kick right. Now step forward, now step back.
Lucozade, bring the energy. Unbeatable taste, new look.
Shake off. Let me see you rock off.
Hi, rough week?
Fine, thank you for asking.
I heard you were looking for me.
Okay, don't freak out. I have a plan. Kind of.
Supergirl. Step into ABC Doors and Windows, where quality meets variety. Discover premium wooden, steel panel, fiberglass, and steel security doors alongside aluminum, UPVC, and steel windows designed for strength and durability. At ABC, we're always a better choice, delivering products built to last and service you can rely on. Visit our showroom at 1 Chanka Trace, El Socorro South, or call 638-7184 to make your dream home a reality.
This is more than just music. This is where you find the best of TNT. This is more than just a vibe. This is where Bollywood gets a twist. This This is more than just energy. This is Bhangra and indie pop too. This is the mix. This is the life. Lock on or log on now. Sangeet 106.1 FM. This is authentic East Indian radio. This is our
Time check. Brought to you by the Central Bank and the National Financial Literacy Program.
Good morning and welcome. I'm Jesse Ramdale with headline news here on CNC3 and the TBC Radio Network. Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissess's announcement that U.S. Navy SEAL personnel are on the ground in Trinidad and Tobago is raising eyebrows. The United States Navy SEALs are the Navy's premier special operations force, with the acronym standing for Sea, Air and Land. SEALs are tasked with some of the most complex and secretive missions in the U.S. military. But here at home, the Prime Minister says the elite force will provide support and training to the Coast Guard and Defence Force in areas such as border protection, drug interdiction and internal security. But criminologist Darius Figuera is questioning whether training is the full story.
The next thing the people of Trinidad and Tobago must understand is that the Trump administration has indicated that it now intends to declare Chinese transnational organized crime as a terrorist threat to America. Do we have Chinese transnational organized crime in Trinidad and Tobago, the Caribbean and Latin America? That is what you use the SEAL team for.
In other news, a U.S. federal judge born in Trinidad and Tobago is under fire after blocking the Trump administration from creating a centralized voter database. District Judge Sparkle Suknanan ruled that officials haphazardly combined and repurposed private information, including unreliable citizenship data, in violation of federal law. She said the plan trampled on privacy rights and threatened the right to vote. The ruling sided with the League of Women Voters, who argued that database could lead to unlawful voter purges. Advocacy group Democracy Forward called it a critical win for voting rights. But the decision drew sharp criticism. DHS General Counsel James Percival posted that the ruling prevents the department from addressing alien voting. And Congresswoman Nancy Mace of South Carolina went further, saying no one born in another country should be serving in our government, judges included, end quote. In other news, the Public Services Association has submitted a counter-proposal to the state of the payment of outstanding back pay, suggesting that part of the non-cash component be provided through food cards, fuel assistance and other so far unnamed benefits. Guardian Media understands that this forms parts of the union's response to the Chief Personnel Officer's final offer, which proposed a 40% cash payment and 60% in non-cash benefits. The PSA is reportedly seeking the reverse arrangement, which is 60% cash and 40% in what it described as deferred cash. Chief Personnel Officer Commander Dr. Darrell Dindial declined to discuss the details of the ongoing negotiations, but CNC3 News was informed by a reliable source that the union's proposal includes food cards and fuel vouchers. The move could raise questions about whether such benefits can truly be considered non-cash compensation, given that many card-based programs require funds to be loaded in advance. Both the PSA and CPO are expected to meet again soon as they seek a resolution to the $3.8 billion in arrears the state committed to when it agreed to give the union a 10% wage increase. Well, stay tuned for another news update at the top of the hour and for comprehensive coverage in our midday news and major newscasts at 7 p.m. on CNC3.
Low energy? Heart concerns? Migraines slowing you down? It's time to take control of your health. Join Wellness Unlocked, the series that brings expert advice and real solutions for a healthier you. In our latest episode, learn how Jameson CoQ10 can help support heart health, boost energy, and even reduce migraines. Get the science, the stories, and the steps to power up your health with CoQ10. Don't miss Wellness Unlocked. Watch now on CNC3 and start your wellness journey today.
The Israelite Church of God in Jesus Christ, teaching the truth about God's people, God's plans, and the secrets of God, all written within the pages of the Holy Bible, which is the Word of God. Watch The Hidden Truth every Thursday at 5:30 a.m. to 6 a.m. on CNC3.
Today, Wednesday, the 24th of June, 2026. Let's check in, see who's on the line. St. James, you're live. Good morning.
Hey, JW.
Hey, morning, my brother. Good morning.
Morning, bro. Where's the vibes?
All is well, man. Go right ahead. I'm listening.
Cool, brother. Well, just calling and keeping it brief. You know, a frequent viewer of the program. Just calling to say keep up the good work, bro. And honestly, with all the interviews you're having with ministers and professionals, please continue to ask the real questions. Because, you know, us as citizens, we wouldn't get the opportunity to ask the questions. So we would view into the program, and we honestly looking to see those real questions being asked. And get those real answers, not just like a summary answer or, you know, a slight synopsis. We really want the real answers. So keep up the good work, because honestly, it's not just a program to just get like conversation. We really working towards the betterment of society for all citizens.
Thanks, bro.
You know, equal opportunities and equal rights. That I think that is what we're working towards. So keep up the great work. Blessings to you and the team.
Yes.
And keep up the great vibes.
Of course, man. Give thanks, man. Give thanks, St. James. I mean, at the end of the day, we reside here. We gotta try and make the most there. Shagonas, good morning.
Yeah, a pleasant good morning, Jason.
Welcome. Go right ahead. I'm listening.
So Jason, let me make a joke here. So St. James don't know that I supposed to be the first one on the program.
He beat your head, boy. I know normally use the first man I get in.
I did like he picked my pocket, boy.
Clearly.
Look at St. James is a good one, right? Listen, Jason, I want to touch on the topic in connection with the U.S. SEALs. I think it's all down here. Right? What is we have going on down here, right? Everything under the umbrella national security is working. It needs a lot of assistance right now, and we have the wherewithal, we have the resources down here. I agree with Norman Dindial when he said that we don't need that. We don't need that. You understand what I'm saying? Because we have a professional standards bureau down here. We have all the necessaries down here that we could need, right? Special branch, everything down here. So I think by the government, whatever money that they're spending to do this, right? I think that they could use those funds elsewhere where it needs to be channeled. If you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right. Also, I want to touch on the topic that with the Joshua Samaru. I honestly believe that they're targeting these people. When I say these people, I want to talk not only about Joshua Samaru's father, but especially this young lady, Alessia. Right? They're targeting these people. I don't know. They just digging themselves into a deeper hole, Jason. Because let me tell you something. Waiters we have as for the leader at the top, right? And I was listening to Pitt just now. Waiters he was saying, right? And the first division, which is assistant superintendent, go up, right? And the second division, which is inspector, go down, right? There's a lot of stagnation. There's hardly any mobility where the rank goes up at the top. So therefore you would find problems at the bottom, right? And in accordance with it, he was saying that you would find an officer with, let's say, 16, 17 years service, right? And a man who come just here, maybe about 8 or 9 years service, right? I'm getting promoted before him. Because
remember he says based on merit, eh? He says not based on length of years, eh? He says it's based on merit.
Correct is right. Now, here's what. I always thought that this length of years and this service, right, was a comfort zone, right, and that officers would get lackadaisical. But I'll tell you this the merit, right, the merit should not only be, as far as I'm concerned, right, should not only be based on whatever studies, whatever qualifications they get, whatever, because let me face it, real policing is done on the ground. Right, real policing is done on the ground. Not only where intelligence level is concerned, but real policing is done on the ground. And I believe that.
No, go ahead.
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. And I believe, Jason, let me tell you something. I believe that a lot of officers, right, who would have done work on the ground, right, and who would have known certain areas and these things, right, and where policing is concerned are bypassed, right, because of these qualifications, right. And you see, there's a lot of politics where the promotion system is concerned, Jason, right, and all I would like to say is I hope that this could be rectified, right? Yeah. Because right now the police service is going through a rough time. Correct is right, you know. So I mean, I think a lot could be done. But as for where I would have spoken before, I don't think we need no U.S. navies. We don't need any U.S. Navy SEALs down here. Come on, now, man. Come like here calling a bus for two people.
Take it easy, man. Take it easy. We'll touch base soon. Let's get some more on the line. I think we head to Rima now. From Chaguanas, we head to the east. Rima, good morning.
Hi, good morning, Jason.
Welcome. I'm listening. Go ahead.
Yes. Jason, I don't think this is a bad idea. You know, I think this is a good idea. You understand? We have so much crime in this country and home invasion, people bawling, people crying all over. It have the raping going on with the bandits and then people kidnapping your children. They put a knife at your head, gun at your head, gun but they hitting you with. And I don't know, when something good in this country, the people and them come to see what they could do if they could help out with the little crime situation. I welcome that. You understand? Everybody would be glad for that, but I glad for it because watch me. So much a thing under the belt in this country, right? People don't like nothing good in this country. You're getting little help. All the time you're bawling, you're crying for the assistance. You're getting it now. Some of them, they don't like that. Right. We have to wait and watch and see what is going on. The little help is important, right, to help the police in this country. The police can't do it alone. The crime take over this country. All the people see what's going on now. Let me hope and pray and watch and see what's going on. The little help is important.
Thank you.
I recommend the little help. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, Arima. Thanks for touching base. That sounds like a new voice, adding value to the program. And I want to thank you so much, Arima, for checking in. We had St. James so far, Chaguanas. We had now to Faizabad. Faizo, we can't leave you out of the discussion, Faizo. Good morning. Like we lost Faizo. So yeah, 624-8721, 627-8658. I'll let you know what's happening via the World Cup. Let me go through the schedule. Obviously, lots of games happening today. Here is where the group stage is coming down to the final day. So the games are coming fast and furious, and they're actually having two games at the same time. Obviously, they would have changed the rules years ago, just to ensure nobody tried to, just to ensure no kind of corruption, basically. So I'll give you the schedule very soon. Let's head to Mova. Mova, good morning.
Morning, JW. Morning.
Good morning.
I'm calling in again, and I'm pleading with the parents of Trinidad and Tobago. This is my country. I want the parents to nip it in the body. I study this thing. I am from Movan. I wasn't born and bred here. I was born and bred in Santa Cruz. But out of marriage, I am here. And my two children were born in this same Movan area. And they did very well. If it's for the area, no. So parents, please, doesn't matter where you live, hold the bull by the horn. Not when it is out of the according to the old people, not when it gets out. Before it gets out, hold the bull by the horn and try to groom it. What you didn't get as a parent, you learn, acquire, and impart it to your children. It will save so much life. We blame the officers, we blame the politicians, we blame the bosses, we blame the teachers, we blame social media, we as the parents, and we blame everything else except ourselves. Start with you.
Yeah.
Bring up your children in the right way. I'm not saying that they should not be privy to certain things. Let them know. Try to give them what they need at a particular age.
Move on, must say.
There's an age group that we have to deal with also, 1 to 5, 5 to 10, 10 to 15, 15 to 20. And sometimes the older persons would say, as they get older, you wean them. No, as they get older, you hold on to them.
Yeah. Move on. I want to thank you. Great commentary this morning. Obviously, going back to the foundation and the root, which is family, and how we treat with the youngsters and setting that particular foundation. I'm a result of that too, as big hardback man as I am today, there's certain things I try to stay away from because I don't want to bring no shame to the eyes of my mom, to the eyes of my auntie, Annie, to Uncle Dave, to certain elders who you have on a particular pedestal, who set the example and raise you in a particular way that you say, you know what, boy, I will allow that kind of behavior. And you just try to conduct yourself accordingly then. If you don't have that as a child, well, all is lost. You just, anything is anything. So, important observation there, Mover. Thank you so much. Final call, Pleasantville. Good morning.
Morning, Jason.
Yes, welcome.
Yeah, Jason, not bad. Jason, I am looking at this situation with the Navy SEALs, and I'm seeing where we are seeing how the U.S. right now is handling getting rid of criminals that they are alleged to be operating in our waters, using the military to conduct extrajudicial killings in our waters and in surrounding areas. I don't know whether or not this is the intent. I'm not saying that this is the intent of this government to use force in that way. But this to me, Jason, if they are telling us that the United Kingdom has a report saying that they are telling us how many gangs we have in Trinidad, and we have intelligence here in this country that the Commissioner of Police boasts of, that they are arresting people, detaining people based on intelligence. Our intelligence should have been telling us this. We shouldn't be waiting on the UK to be telling us this. I'm seeing where in Tobago, Little Tobago has over 28 gangs for a population of about 55,000 people. This, and I'm also seeing, Jason, on a daily basis where a lot of matters are coming before our court and they are being dismissed, people are being freed, and the reasons why this is happening is because of the level of work that the police is taking to the court. A cog in the wheel of all of this crime that we're having in this country is our judicial system. And that is, I think, the area where we have failed, because people have come into our courts, and for some reason, I think this is where we need the training, where the police, where training is needed, is in how to prosecute people, how to gather evidence, gather intelligence, and turn it into evidence that people can be convicted. Too many people are being freed. I see where 2 policemen were being freed from a matter in 2014. And this is the problem, because the witness or the victim, he died. This is our situation where we are having the problem, Jason. It's not that the gangs are not being identified and people are not being arrested. It's that we are not doing enough to have people convicted and face justice in this country. And one more thing, Jason, you cannot have a country, you cannot have justice in a country where you have criminals making the laws. Thanks, Jason.
Yeah, Pleasantville hit them with a brutal Yorker and gone, yes. I hear you, Pleasantville. I understand exactly where you're coming from. You don't have to always call out names and stuff, but you put it out there, and who got eyes to see will see, who got ears to hear will hear. And I want to thank all the callers from Chaguanas, from Arima, from St. James. Yes, listen, open forum, always a good time. I will sit and listen. Sometimes I will, get into a little heated debate. Me and Chaguanas just go at it. Sometimes I had to call out my partner. But everybody is entitled to call, and I'm not ever, in my capacity on this seat, going to put any kind of ban or any restriction on anyone. Everybody's point is important. Everybody's voice needs to be heard. We do have to agree, but it's important for us to have a listening dialogue and a kind of platform to express yourself. I think that is very important, right? Very important. I believe in that, sincerely. Today's action in the World Cup, Switzerland and Canada at 3 p.m. Also Bosnia against Qatar, also at 3. Morocco and Haiti at 6. Then Scotland and Brazil, all the Brazilians. Your team is back in action today at 6 p.m. And then we bring up the rear with the 9 p.m. games, South Korea versus South Africa, and Czechia versus Mexico, host nation Mexico in Mexico. We come back and do some housekeeping, give you details as to how to book your spot on the program. Is there some weather there also, Amisha, inside there? I think there is some weather also, so stand by. We're going to come back right after these.
Attention all bakers, doubles vendors, and roti makers. Try our high-quality bromate-free, all-purpose, and whole wheat flour. Low price and conveniently packaged in 2 pounds, 2 kg, 10 kg, and 25 kg bags. For wholesale and retail prices, contact Shiklisho Limited at 665-3336 or 480-8715 or visit us at Warrenville, Canoopia. Shiklisho Limited, quality you can trust.
Welcome back. Let's get into some housekeeping. Ways to connect with us, ways to book your spot on the program. A really simple process. You're sending an email to TMB at CNC3. Let's put it up there again. That's it. TMB at CNC3.co.tt. Simple process, huh? Simple process. I would say short, to the point. And we can link with you live in the actual studio here with me, or you can send we will send the Zoom link, you log in, and hey, the rest is history. So let's make it happen, and let's touch base soon. We move to the social media, Instagram, Facebook, and X. Active, relevant, on point. We vet the stories, put it out, so you can stay on top of all your local, regional, and international developments. That's the same mandate and ethos when it comes to our mobile app. Same mandate, it's just in a different format. It's on your phone, direct. All the updates and your content also. We deal with the content and all your, current affairs, full works, breaking news. Good place on your smartphone. Get the CNC3 app today. We move now to the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian. 108 years of legacy, of strength, of bringing the news to the nation. We want you to enjoy the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian because we have been able to move, as always, with the time, so you can enjoy it on your laptop, your desktop, your mobile when you visit guardian.co.tt. Get your subscription today. Up next, our food for thought. Words to inspire on this wet Wednesday morning. So let's read together. From a small seed, a mighty trunk may grow. From a small seed, a mighty trunk may grow. And that's the reality. And we could look at ourselves also as that particular seed. From that infant stage, adolescence, coming into our own. Look at us today. I mean, every big hardback man and hardback woman once would have been a child. once would have been, you can even help yourself. Somebody had to take you through the ranks, and it brings us to this place. And that's why it really hurts on a different level when people interfere and mistreat children like babies. How dare you? How dare you? And that's why, let me tell you, it goes to show that even the hardest criminals, the people who have no heart, when they bounce up on them kind of people within the confines of a prison, and they hear that this particular person kill or beat or maim or interfere with a baby, they start to put them fellas out to the population. The hardest criminals just hold on to them and deal with them real severe, because even within that world, they say, nah, you went too far. So, you know, that's something that, you know, we think of, we consider that the smallest seed must and should get a chance to grow into this amazing trunk, this amazing, you know, representation of life and potential and greatness. And anybody who denies that, well, if the universe will deal with them, clearly somebody inside the prison walls will deal with them. With that, let's head to our world, well, not so much the world weather wrap per se. I think we're going to kind of localize it, because clearly we're hearing of rain, we're hearing of Saharan dust. But don't take it from me. Let Sugoni step in to give us the latest. Good morning, Sugoni.
Hi there, I'm Sigoni Mohammed with your daily dose of weather, where you've got to have the umbrella nearby and perhaps your inhaler as well. And that's because a tropical wave is currently traversing the area from overnight, and that is setting the stage for a more unsettled day across Trinidad and Tobago. Now, if showers do develop over your area, be prepared for gusty winds, and where heavier showers are occurring, street flooding and flash flooding may develop in flood-prone locations. And for those living or traveling through hilly terrain, take note, the risk of landslips and landslides becomes elevated during and after prolonged periods of rain, especially in vulnerable hilly areas. Now, through much of today, we do expect cloudy, slightly hazy, and breezy conditions with scattered showers moving across the islands from time to time. As the tropical wave moves through, another weather feature will be arriving just behind that, and it's a moderate to strong concentration of Saharan dust, which is expected from this evening, likely leading to hazier skies and reduced air quality. So persons sensitive to these atmospheric changes, particularly those with respiratory conditions, should take the necessary precautions. Now, if you're heading offshore, well, seas remain moderate, but conditions may become occasionally choppy, and that's due to the influence of moderate to strong winds, with waves approaching 2.5 meters in height. Now, during this time, all marine interests are advised to exercise caution, especially in and around showers, where winds and seas can become rougher with very little warning. So be safe out there. And with that, that's your forecast, and that's it from me.
Sugoni, thank you so much. So again, you heard it from Sugoni in terms of the forecast and what's in store for today. So let's be prepared. It's going to be, I think, definitely one of those wet June, end of June going into July and August. I mean, granted, it's quote-unquote the summertime, but it's not really that for us. It's rainy season, and around this time, it's extremely wet, and we need to be prepared. Let's get ready for our traffic calm. We're going to treat with that right now. Roxy Roundabout. So nice and green. I'm so happy that it's able to catch back itself. You know, Roxy Roundabout, Nelson Mandela Park. I know for Carnival around February, March, everywhere that you see green right now, there's like brown, it's dust, foot traffic, the heat. So you could tell the place is catching back itself. Nature is going through its revival. And it's really because of the rain. As much as the rain could bring lots of frustration and delays, it really is nature's, that's nature taking a drink of its own water, quenching its thirst. And you're able to see the place just, you know, revive itself. And look at the you could actually see the clouds there. That gives you a full indication as to what's in store for today. No sign of the sunlight at all, no sign of the sun. The place just gloomy, and the traffic is moving. Yes, familiar stomping grounds. I used to live right down on a Western Main Road there. I spent my teenage years. So the foundation is Erin, as you know. Right, born and bred. Erin set the foundation, would have done primary school up in the east via Komoto. secondary school via St. James. And all this happened because mom would have moved there from post office to post office. You know, when you get that particular role as postmistress, she was in charge of Komoto for some years, then went to St. James, and I think everything worked out the way it was supposed to. I got, when I look back, the best kind of childhood and foundation one could ever ask for. A nice South community, quiet start, but then a taste of the light and the action into my teenage years. And I could tell you, St. James, back in the 90s, what the Avenue is today is what St. James was back in that time. And for those who know, they know College Bar, Smokey and Bunty. All them places, I never used to go. I was too small. I just pass and see people by the side of the road and thing having a time. But it was lively, it was bright. You had Crosby's Lounge. You had so much happening. All the major bands will pass, and they still pass on the Western Main Road. So St. James is a whole different energy. And if you notice something, before we head to the next traffic calm, people who live in St. James don't ever say they're from the West or they're from, you don't hear that West argument with folks from St. James. St. James, they have their own independence. If somebody from St. James, they say, I am from St. James. I know I live in the West. When you hear West, it's more Petty Valley, Digo Martin, Caranage. St. James people don't. St. James don't say that at all. St. James is St. James. Good morning, St. James. Good to always pass through and just see some of the old faces, man. Always a joy. Let's head to Shogunas on the northbound. Ooh, yeah, boy, overcast. Overcast. And the highway, I must say, you notice these days the place not as hectic. I guess school is winding down, so we're going to get an ease for the next couple of months. That July into August is always a nice time. No such a big, heavy traffic. The school children are home. And as you can see, the traffic is moving. Traffic is moving, folks making their way to and fro. So that is right there by the Ansamakal building there on the Shogunas northbound. Where do we head to next? Bring traffic, come on. We want to see what's happening. I want to show you in real time what's happening. This is the Audrey Jeffers Highway, also from what we would have seen the last time. Nice and green. That's right. Remember there had burnout. You see, you're still seeing some remnants of the scorched earth because of the slash and burn exercise that took place a couple of weeks ago, where the place was just parched and looking a kind of way. Now it's catching back itself, and that's the Audrey Jeffers Highway. Again, very overcast, and the traffic is moving. For those heading into Port of Spain, trying to filter onto Ryson Road, and for those who continue their commute straight down to whether it's the Valley, St. James, or Caranage. Dr. Catherine Minto-Bain joins me next. TT-IVF, genetics, question and answer. A very important conversation around the corner. Stand by.
Welcome to Holiday Inn Express and Suites.
Do enjoy, Stacey. You want some coffee?
Can I have a bit?
Perfect then.
That's exactly what we need.
Hey, the pool is this way.
Whatever you're here for, we're here for you. Stay smart at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites.
Ever wonder how the way you start your day can make all the difference? Tired of waking up struggling with congestion? Without Neomed Sinus Rinse, you are likely to battle with nasal congestion, impacting energy levels and overall well-being. The choice is clear. A great morning starts with Neomed Sinus Rinse. Now I can't imagine starting my day without it. All natural sinus relief.
This is more than just music. This is where you find the best of TNT. This is more than just a vibe. This is where Bollywood gets a twist. This is more than just energy. This is Bhangra and indie pop too. This is the mix. This is the life. Lock on or log on now. Sangeet 106.1 FM. This is authentic East Indian radio. This is us.
Medical Director at the TTIVF, Dr. Catherine Minto-Bain, joins me live on set, today being Wednesday, and we're not talking football. That's a different discussion for a different day. We're treating with IVF, we're treating with more so today genetics. And I'm seeing some questions, and I know you will bring some answers to this most important discussion. So, Doc, great to see you. Welcome again.
JW, it's absolutely lovely to be on the show, as always. And I'm going to ask you if we can help out some of the people that came to our Conceiving Hope event. So we had this wonderful event all about IVF last month, and we talked about it a lot. And in the Q&A session, we were just overwhelmed with questions. And we didn't get through even a quarter of the questions that people were asking, and they were asking really good questions. So I thought we could do some of the genetic ones. I promised people we would try and do it on TV for them so they get their answers.
Oh, for sure, and based on some of the, based on the feedback and the questions, this first one I want to bring to you. Someone is asking, what do you mean when you say genetic testing, and how is it used during infertility treatment, and why it could be obviously helpful, and what does the TTIVF offer in that regard? So again, they're talking genetic testing, and how does it apply to infertility treatment?
Really good questions, really deep questions, and it's really showing how much people understand so much more about fertility these days and IVF. So genetics, you or I could do a genetic test, and there's a million different things you can test. If somebody came to me and their baby looked abnormal, you can do a genetic test to look at their chromosomes to see if they have something like Down syndrome. And chromosomes are like a recipe book, and each page of them is a gene. And you have 46 chromosomes, and you can just have the wrong number of chromosomes. So you can check that. If I had a miscarriage, I could send the tissue from a miscarriage for genetic testing. If I was worried I had a breast cancer risk, I could check my blood for a tiny little gene that looks for breast cancer. People can check themselves before they do IVF to see if they carry something that their partner also carries that might cause them to have a baby with a medical condition. So there are some rare medical conditions, and your baby could have a real problem like spinal muscular atrophy. You can check for that from beforehand. You can even check an embryo at IVF in my lab before it goes into a woman's womb, so that if you look for Down syndrome, chromosome issues, or if we found something specifically in a couple, we can look for that in the embryo. So there are so many genetic tests, and actually the new ones coming out are if a guy has a low sperm count, loads of that is now showing to be a gene. You and I have like 20,000 genes in our body creating building each organ in our body, and making our liver work, and all of these things, and you can test to see if something's missing in one of your genes. So genetics is this huge, wide, open area, and yes, there's lots we can do genetically.
So you're saying that literally the tests could indicate if there are any genetic defects, and I know you would have mentioned Down syndrome there. Is autism also part of that discussion?
So people were also asking about that. People are very worried about having a normal baby these days. They're very well informed, and the two big ones that come up are Down syndrome and autism. Down syndrome is clearly genetic. It's caused by having an extra chromosome 21. And you can check an embryo before you put it in. That's PGTA. The test isn't 100% accurate. It gets it wrong 1 to 2% of the time. But you can check that embryo and say, yeah, probably got it, very likely got it, or very, very unlikely to have it. That we can test for. Autism is caused by a huge range of things. We haven't identified a specific gene that causes autism. So yes, people are worried about it. We hear a lot about it these days. We all know someone who has a child on the spectrum or really severe autism problems. But is there a test for it? No, there isn't. Can we check it in an embryo? No, we can't. Is it genetic? Maybe, but there's so many things that could cause it. Like men that are older having babies have more autism. Women that are older having more babies have more Down syndrome and maybe a bit more autism as well. The environment, climate change, air pollution, the food we eat, microplastics, goodness only knows.
Interesting information here. I'm looking at another question here, and I want to, again, because some of it is very specific, people would have done their research. Someone is asking whether ICSI, and I would love for you to just elaborate as to what the acronym is for that there, has any impact on the genetics of the embryo. Now, what is ICSI?
Yeah, again, really good questions. That came from a guy. We had a lot of men that came this time. Half of the audience were men, and they asked really good questions. He came up to me afterwards, and he said, listen, I'm told that I have low sperm, they're not swimming well, and the shapes aren't very good of my sperm. That is, number one, incredibly common. I think probably a third of the guys coming through our clinic have that. And then he's saying, so I've been told I need to have IVF to help me and my wife get a baby. And that's the eggs coming out of her body, that's the IVF. And then when we get those eggs in the lab, we do into the cell sperm injection, ICSI. And that's where, because he's got low numbers of sperm, we take a sperm and we inject it in. And his question was, my sperm shapes aren't good. Does that mean the baby's going to be genetically abnormal? Real big worry. And the answer is no, it's not linked with genetic problems. There are some genetic issues to think about. You can do a genetic test to see if you have a gene causing your low sperm count that you could maybe pass on to a boy child. But no, reassuringly, your baby should be normal. IVF babies, we've had 13 million born around the world now, I think, since it started. We started doing IVF 50 years ago. In some countries, 1 in every 100 babies now, maybe even 1 in 50 babies being born is an IVF baby. And there's no increase in genetic problems. It's very, very, it's a healthy, normal way to get a baby.
So that was a question from one of the guys who attended the seminar. Here's a woman who put forward this question. She says, well, what genetic testing may be available for her embryo, and whether her embryo might be harmed by the genetic testing process. So this is a concerned female who would have attended the seminar at SAPA. She wants to know if there could be any harm to the embryo with the genetic testing.
And again, blew me away. I've not been getting questions like this in the past seminars we've done. It just shows how well educated people are now. Really good question. So if a woman is 40 plus, more of her eggs are likely to have chromosomal problems. And yeah, if she creates some embryos with our IVF unit, before we put those embryos inside her womb, we can take a few cells out of them. So that embryo might be 200 cells, and we're going to take maybe 3 to 5 cells from the bit on the outside that's going to be the placenta. Does it damage the embryo? Well, it does take out some cells, and you pull them out, and the embryo has to kind of put itself back together, but it probably doesn't damage most embryos. Most embryos would probably still implant if they were going to, and we send those away. So the embryo stays here in Trinidad, and there are 4 or 5 big genetic testing laboratories in the US where all clinics in this side of the world send their genetic testing for embryo cell testing, and the results come back. Yes, normal, probably 99% chance. No, probably abnormal, or sometimes in the middle, indeterminate.
You know, I want to put forward one. I've been meaning to ask this for a while, and I think we have some time. It's to treat with the parents who want a twin. They want a boy and a girl, 2 girls, 2 boys. They want that, 2 in 1 and done. Is that possible through IVF?
It's more likely with IVF if you're not a good IVF unit and you put in more embryos. So example, if a 45-year-old woman comes to our clinic and she obviously doesn't have any eggs herself, you don't get pregnant with your own eggs from about 43 onwards. So she's going to use an egg donor. Beautiful, healthy eggs. She asks us to put in 3 embryos from that egg donor. Her husband's sperm has gone into it. We're absolutely going to say no, because that's going to be a triplet pregnancy. And those babies are going to be born early, and those babies are are going to have serious abnormalities from being born early. You don't want, if you have too many babies growing inside your womb, your miscarriage risk goes up, every complication in pregnancy goes up. Autism may go up a little bit, intellectual problems. Those babies are not being fed and grown as well as they should. The human body is there to really grow one baby. So IVF used to have more multiple pregnancies. Overseas units have no regulations and still produce more multiple pregnancies. The government here and the government in most countries says don't do it, because then our neonatal units have to have all of these incubators and all of these staff, and it's really expensive. It's dangerous for women, more complications. It's not good for babies. So yes, we can put in more embryos, but do we do it? No, we talk you out of it. We explain why. You want a healthy baby, one at a time. Really important. And that's an IVF unit in some countries now that has too many multiple pregnancies. So our rate is about 5%. If you go over 30, 40%, some countries will shut you down and take away your license.
Yeah, thanks for that. And that is one I've been meaning to ask for quite a while. What about the whole concept of the surrogate mother? Surrogacy. Is that available in Trinidad and Tobago?
We don't offer that, and no Caribbean country offers that at the moment. And surrogacy is where you've got eggs and your partner's got sperm, but your womb, for some reason, isn't good at growing babies. Or you've had a bad complication in pregnancy. I think that was Kim Kardashian. Really bad stuck placenta. It risks your life to grow a baby inside your womb. So it's putting embryos into somebody else's womb, and you need IVF to put those embryos into somebody else's womb. But you need a whole setup to make it safe. Surrogates need really good care, and we just don't have that in this country. So no, it's the one thing you can't get fertility-wise in this country.
For those who want to continue the conversation, Doc, how do they reach out and get in touch?
So we are TT IVF, Trinidad and Tobago IVF and Fertility Center. Just search Trinidad Fertility on all the socials. Go and have a look at our website. My job today is improving that website. I've got some work to do. We're redoing our website. But we're on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Trinidad Fertility, or you can call us. We are open from 7 o'clock till 3, and the number is 222. I've forgotten it already. Baby.
Baby. 615 baby, I'm seeing here.
Thank you so much.
And I'm seeing 235-2392.
Good. So don't listen to me on the phone number. JW, say it again too. What was it, 615?
Yeah, look, it's right here, 615 baby.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's our best number. And you can check them right there at the Icon Plaza in Aranguez. And Dr. Catherine Mintobain and her amazing team will host you and field your questions and take care of your concerns. Doc, always a pleasure. Is it coming home?
JW, oh, don't ask me about football. I am all for England. It's a phenomenal squad, but I'm waiting to see how they do. Guys, good luck in your next match.
Oh, gosh, yeah. We could talk football all morning, but we're here in the business. All right? Doc, have a great one, and Godspeed, we'll touch base again next week.
JW, thank you. Brilliant.
Well, I could tell you, I'm heading home now. We're heading home to Erin, my foundation village, place of my early years, and we're getting some details concerning the St. Peter's Day observation, the celebration. Yeah, we're heading down to the beach, and I'm so happy to have with me from Erin, the president of the Erin Fisher Folks Association.
Lucozade, bring the energy. Unbeatable taste, new look.
Things don't always go as expected. Be ready with Trinry for auto, home, business and group life. Call us at 800-TRIN or visit trinry.com today. Huge insurance premium. Pay your premiums bit by bit with FlexiPay from Trinry. For more manageable auto, home and commercial insurance payments, call us at 800-TRIN or visit trinry.com today. Trinry. Premier insurance coverage for less.
You can make your goals unfold, go get it. You can live your dream, join the team, let's do this. You can get the help you need to succeed with Rand Gratitude, and you can believe that you can achieve. Big goals, small ones too. Rand
Live your best life today with Rand Credit Union.
Attention all listeners, are you ready for the ultimate news experience? Introducing the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian, the nation's first and most subscribed newspaper. We deliver where others can't. With the widest delivery network in TNT, you can have the Guardian delivered right to your doorstep or office every single day. Take advantage of our special annual subscription offer so you can stay on top of the leading stories even when you're on the go. Sign up today. Time is running out. Inquire about our 3-month and 6-month packages as well.
Many parents say, I get licks and I turn out fine. But did you really? Was that kind of discipline the most effective and helpful? Or did it instill fear and intimidation instead? Discipline is important, but it must be used in a constructive way with your children for it to be effective. So instead of just punishing them, also take the time to teach them what is appropriate behavior, to help them learn what to do differently and to make better decisions. Try to be in control of your emotions before disciplining them. And discipline should be fair and consistent. And most importantly, it should be appropriate for your child's age. Remember, spare the rod, it won't spoil the child. At the end of the day, keep trying your best. You and your children deserve it. Share if you found this useful and like and follow our profile for more parenting tips. The letter of the day is D for discipline.
This season, Ask the Doctor is at a new time. It's your weekly prescription for trusted medical advice. In the Doctor's Capsule, Dr. Tilak Singh breaks down big health topics clearly and simply. Get a dose of smiles in the Kiddies Capsule as our youngest experts share health tips with heart. Explore the science behind the headlines in Medical Minds, featuring real doctors, real insight, and your questions matter. Join the open forum live and get answers straight from the source. Ask the Doctor, every Thursday at 8 p.m. only on CNC3.
So when I was looking at the rundown last evening and I saw the Erin Fisher Folks Association was part of the program, I smiled to myself because, you know, this is home. I'm so happy I'm able to facilitate this kind of discussion and to bring a good light. Erin would have been in the news recently for obviously not the best reason, and I can safely tell you, based on my foundation, my upbringing, it's a place full of love. It's a community that looks out for each other, and I'm just so happy that we could at least share, or at least put an invitation out to the rest of Trinidad and Tobago to be part of what's going to be a grand celebration on the 4th of July. It's a Saturday. I want to welcome the president of the Erin Fisher Folks Association, Alicia Siraj. And Alicia is here with great company. Sylvester is also in the mix. And, you know, I mean, what I could say, guys, I'm just so happy to have you all on the program and welcome. We're looking forward to St. Peter's Day.
Yes.
Yes. I'm seeing that you're starting from as early as 3:30 in the morning.
That's when we start our trade in the ocean.
Yes.
But on St. Peter's Day, we kick off at 6 a.m. with our 5K run and walk.
Oh, nice. Where's the 5K? What's the start point and end point?
Rancho Quemado Junction to Erin Beach Facility.
Excellent.
So race rosters, you can go up and register with race rosters. We have at our finish line, well, because of our community, we're trying to reach out to the youths to encourage the youth development into the community in the right direction as well. So we have youths with doing the muka jumbies. We have rhythm session at the finish line with the cool down session. Of course, we'll have our free broth and samples and whatnot at the end of the 5K. Then we head to the Blessing of the Fleet.
Yeah, the boats.
Right, and the Blessing of Food, we do food distribution for the less fortunate and whatnot. And then our second segment kicks off at 12 noon, where we have a small program with cultural performances. We want to reintroduce the nation with the life of a fisherman, because we tend to forget where the seafood come from. So we want to reintroduce that. We will have a whole session outlining the different type of fishing with the techniques and so forth there for our audience to take in. We will have boat race competition. We have in the greasy pole and the greasy pig.
Nice.
You know, bring back those memories.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good stuff. I mean, real tradition, you know, St. Peter's Day style.
Correct.
Sylvester, I mean, as it pertains to the area itself, I mean, down area in that whole coast, it's still holding fish. You all have to go out further, or it's what's the general energy right now in the waters on the ends?
We still holding fish, but not as much as before. We have to go further.
Go further. Is there any nervousness? Because I know obviously, you know, the Mang is right there. You could literally see the Venezuelan coastline from Erin. Is there any kind of fear at all? Because I mean, yes, we talk about maritime borders, but there's no official line in the sea. What's the general energy when you go out in the waters? Any nervousness at all?
Well, yeah, we'll be nervous at times.
We gotta go further, as you right.
Further, as you say, yeah. More riskier.
Yeah, I could imagine. In terms of the facility, I mean, I would have seen improvement over the years, but I know these things are always a work in progress. What needs to come to the facility to give it that first-class, best standard?
We have no ice machine. We have no cold storage.
You for real?
Serious. The closest we will get ice to keep our produce is San Fernando or Cedros. Sometimes Erin Farm will be lenient with us, and we will be able to purchase once their ice machine producing.
You know, as you mentioned Erin Farm, I know Erin Farm provides a lot of employment for folks in the area, but after that I would have to say the beach facility
is the second.
It continues to be that hub of employment and that space. Yeah. Because up to Monday, you know, I went down a turn to come up to check Auntie Annie, and you know, it was busy. I said, what? This was like 2 o'clock. Rail cars.
Yeah.
People seem to. I mean, there is something special about Erie Beach, and I guess the price too.
And the fresh fish.
Fresh fish.
Fresh fish.
From the sea to the city.
From the sea to the city.
Correct.
What's the specialty? What you say is because I know you say it's kind of harder to hold it now, hold the fish, but what you're known for down on Erie Beach?
Golden croaker.
The golden croaker. Yeah, that's right. That's right. I'm so happy, you know, the beach is getting a nice little, at least the fishing facility is getting a little promotion this morning, because it provides, and it's been feeding that part of the country for decades. That's why I grew up on, you know, every night was fish.
Even in the export market, that golden croaker is it. And with the difference to differentiate Erin from any other port, you see our fisher folks down at Erin, they work hard. They would go from 3:30 in the morning. They would make 3 and 4 tides, leaving the beach after 12 sometimes. We would leave the beach, and that is their day work.
Oh, yeah, I know that. I've seen that firsthand. I mean, we're going to celebrate on the 4th. Obviously, I want to invite all and sundry to come on down. So you're starting with the 5K into the activities. Is there any kind of party? Any kind of we're gonna? Is there any kind of jam session? So what's it like?
Our after party.
Excellent. On the beach itself.
On the beach.
Excellent. DJs, performances.
I'll be one of the DJs there.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, listen, and you're seeing all the information there on screen, boat race, big prize monies. Any stakeholders are involved? Who?
Yes. We have National Petroleum Company. They are one of our sponsors. Caribbean Gas Chemical Limited, Out and Under, Seafood Enterprises, Two Wheel Bike Shop, just to name a few, SM Jalil. They are sponsoring and supporting our initiative. We also have the MP for Labre. He is in full support and actually collaborating with us for this event as well.
Well, Sylvester, respect and manners. Of course, Alicia, President of the Erin Fisher Folks Association. Kudos to you. Thanks so much for coming here live, coming up the road to spend part of the morning with me. And we celebrate this Great initiative. St. Peter's Day, Irene, the observance, the celebration, the fun day, 5K straight into the after party, into the night. It's going to be tremendous. Saturday, July 4th. Put it on your calendar. If you've never been to Irene, this is your perfect opportunity to go and take in and meet the beautiful community and enjoy this space. With that, we make our exit. Have yourselves a great one. Godspeed. I'm back for more tomorrow.
You're watching CNC3. As an affiliate of CNN International, we now join their current programming.
Claire Duffy, thank you so much. Great reporting. A new hour of CNN News Central starts right now.